afternoon. This is the Judgement. The Judgement was written under the name of King Albert II, King of Belgium, as a royal decree. It was written for a reason. My name is Mr. Nigel Cooper. I'm the quintessential English gentleman. You may want to know why that I've chosen to have a video made in Holland rather than the UK. I can never return to the UK. The UK has put me into exile for 10 years. You may want to know why. In 2006, I moved to Belgium to start a new life, and I was taken on and hired by NATO as the principal network security consultant. I arrived here on the 3rd of January 2006. After a short time, I decided that I was going to move my family to Belgium. In the process, I made a phone call to England. The son of Mrs. Gail Cooper answered the phone, and I asked him, "Keelan, where is your mother?" His response was, "She's asleep on the sofa." I asked him to wake her up, and it was clear in the conversation that she was drunk. This is an alcoholic, habitual drug user who has violent tendencies, was at home drunk with a 3.5-year-old baby girl in her presence. I instructed her immediately to arrange the transportation and the necessary legal documentation to have my daughter sent to Belgium, or I would consult social services on her actions that she was undertaking. In the process, Mrs. Gail Cooper sent a document to the Belgian authorities that read, "I, Gail Cooper, the mother of Bailie Kate Cooper, permit and allow Bailie Kate Cooper to live with her father." She then signed the document with a copy of her passport, a copy of her driving licence, took it to a third party, being the post office, and faxed it to the legal authorities in Belgium, who contacted me and said, "Do you want us to issue an arrest warrant for the abandonment of a child?" I said, "No, the child is coming to live with me." As a father, I'd done the right thing. I arranged a school, I arranged a kindergarten, I arranged house, bedroom, doctor, nurses, everything that would be expected of a loving father. My daughter arrived with me when she was 3.5 months old, still in nappies with a bottle, and I was doing a full-time job. We'd done very well. Everybody said we'd done very well. Several months later, my wife lied to me. She telephoned me saying that her addictions had been cured, along with her alcoholism. Like a fool, I allowed her back into my life. What followed was 3.5 years of utter abuse to myself. It reached a point I was driven out of my own home, and in the process my wife forged documentation to remove my daughter to England. I took my case to the Hague for the return of my daughter for international child abduction. The case went before Judge Hedley in the UK, who said I gave her away. I've got documentary evidence to prove to the contrary. I asked for the case to be read before a Belgian tribunal, in which it was done, and I surrendered 2 documents: the private power of attorney and the letter from the Lord Mayor of the local commune of Lessines saying he was duped and forged documents to take the child from the country. Contained within the judgment, it declares that Mrs. Gail Cooper committed an act of fraud and felony to steal a child from Belgium. That is an international criminal act. I want to know why the UK is harbouring an international criminal. The judgment further goes on to declare that Miss Stephanie Adams of Willis Croft & Co. of Bradford aided and abetted. She aided and abetted by hiding 2 documents from a judge. one being the power of attorney and one being the letter from the Lord Mayor of Les Scenes. She tampered with evidence which is a perversion of the course of justice, aided and abetted by a barrister known only as Geraldine. Nobody can find any documents that show her surname. During one Skype conversation with the said barrister, Geraldine, and Stephanie Adams, she thought she'd ended the conversation, turned her back on me while the conversation was being recorded in Belgium, and said, "If he opens his mouth, we're sunk." Now, why would my barrister and solicitor make a comment like that when they're supposed to be defending me? They've done so because Miss Stephanie Adams is the international specialist for the Lord Chancellor's panel of the UK for international child abduction. That's not to return children to the rightful parent, it's to steal children from the rightful parent. I asked the UK to enforce my judgment. The judgment was served on the Crown of England on the 15th of March 2012. It was written under Article 11.7 of the Hague Convention, Brussels Bis 2. And if you read it in layman's terms, you cannot refuse this judgment. It is automatic. Justice Moyland of the UK took it on his own sake to say refused. He broke the Hague Convention. He breached the Lisbon Treaty. He broke the Treaty of Maastricht, the Treaty of Amsterdam, the Paris Accord and the London Treaty, signed under the Queen Elizabeth II. The judge is treasonable against the Crown of England and against the Magna Carta. I want to know why the UK have refused to uphold the law. The judgment empowers any person who I give this to with complete power to go and recover my daughter. It covers all their costs. It protects them at an international level. The judgment can be found at the end of the video on a link. I will sign this document at the end of this in front of everybody and will be handed as witness to Jacob, who's making the video. He will then publish this document. Any person can print this off and present to any TV station, any media station, anywhere in the world saying, why is the UK not upholding the law? The simple reason is the UK have been caught red-handed stealing children. Miss Stephanie Adams of Willis Croft & Co. has coerced with Justice Hedley. Justice Hedley is a High Court judge in the Strand in London. I want to know why he suddenly turned up in the back streets of nowhere at a lowly court and refused my civil rights, refused my injunction and my enforcement order. He further went on to revoke my enforcement order. That is against the Magna Carta, it's against my human rights and my civil rights under UK law. It's against international law and it's against European law. I want to know why Moyland, Justice Moyland, takes it on his own behalf, not under sovereign justice, and say, why did he do so? Why did he refuse a presidential chamber tribunal sworn before the Crown Prosecutor of Belgium? He said no. He used an excuse, but the man's got an English passport. Does that now mean that every single expatriate anywhere in the world that has a red passport can have the children stolen? Just for holding the passport? Irrespective of the laws that they have come accustomed to in the country that has adopted them? He further went on to say, because of my age. I beg your pardon, Justice Moyland. What gives you the right to turn around and tell me or any person on this planet how old they can be when they choose to start a family. I think you're damn disgusting. Your actions are illegal. Why are you refusing to obey the law? Joanna Bernard, Senior Social Services Solicitor, Legal Advisor to Sunderland County Council, you have coerced with Stephanie Adams. Both of you have turned around in separate emails to me saying you have never heard of each other. However, Miss Stephanie Adams slipped up and sent a digitally signed email to me in an email chain saying, "Hi Joe, for a first meeting, first name terms, it doesn't fit, girls. You colluded to steal a child. You've threatened my family with removal of their children. You've colluded with the highest level in the UK to steal my daughter. You will not steal my daughter. This judgment is a public judgment. You cannot enforce your gagging order on me. I don't belong to the UK. I never have and I never will. I served 22.5 years in the Royal Navy for the simple reason for the freedom of the people of this planet, not for you to steal my daughter. I earned 13 medals in the name of my Queen for freedom and the protection of the children and citizens of the UK and Europe. I moved to NATO and served for 7 years as a principal consultant protecting children wherever they are in the world under the hospice of NATO, and you stole my daughter. You will not steal my daughter. You will return my daughter in accordance with the law. You will obey the law. You even got me dismissed from my job in NATO. I want to know why the Prime Minister, David Cameron, when he visited Brussels last week, spoke to Jonathan Anderton, the British ambassador of Brussels, who was digitally snooping round my web pages and left his grubby digital fingerprints all over it. I am a security specialist. I know who's been fiddling and where. I have served data protection orders against Sunderland Police, Northumberland Police, the Ministry of Justice, the Ombudsman for the Parliamentary Community, Sunderland Social Services, Sunderland Council, Williscroft and Co, Dawson Cornwell. I have served it against all of you, and you come back in your own arrogance and said under the UK Data Protection Act, stop right there boys and girls. I'm not British. I'm Belgian. I am an habitual resident of Belgium, falling under Belgium laws and EU laws. You were served under the EJC Directive 95/46 EC, which is the superior judgment against the Data Protection Act, and you are all liable to a €500,000 fine and appeal notice in accordance with Article 55 of the EJC Directive for your abusive actions against me. I want you to return my daughter. What have you told my daughter? Why will you not allow me to speak to my daughter? You want me to sign a document that's saying I accept UK jurisdiction and bow down to you? Forget it. You stole my daughter. You are a plain thief. You are caught with your fingers in the till stealing another child. The same as the 10,000 before her. To every person who reads this judgment was written for a reason. It's not just written for Bailie and myself. It's written for every child. And I will use this judgment to bring down the UK, to free every single child in the UK that you've stolen. This was done for a reason. This is your silver bullet. Belgium has empowered me with this silver bullet to bring down the social services, to bring down the central authority, to go at the Lord Chancellor, to go at Lord Justice Matthew Alexander Thorpe, head of the Family Service Decision England and Wales. Sir, I've written to you 4 times. You didn't even have the common courtesy to even send a single email saying, bugger off. You ignored me. You done a fatal. You clicked open and sent me a digital fingerprint of you reading a document. I serve notice against you two. I serve notice against the UK. And you, in your blind arrogance, have refused to uphold the law. You will obey the law. This was served on you on the 15th of March 2012. On the 15th of March 2013, you break the Hague Convention. On the 15th of March 2013, 192 countries throughout Europe have the legal right to turn their back on the UK. You will be dismissed from the EU. You will have the backs of the world turn upon you. You will be put back in the Dark Ages for stealing children. You have been stealing children for 80 plus years. Why will you not return my daughter? Because my daughter is as stubborn as me. If you've told my daughter Daddy's dead, if you told her Daddy had an accident, Daddy doesn't love you, you've done so to manipulate her mind. You have refused me access under the name of Justice Hudson. She took it on her own right on the 2nd of October 2013 to revoke my parental rights and say, should I enter the borders of the UK to recover my daughter, I will go to prison for 10 years. How dare you, woman? You have no power and authority the moment you breached this. You stole my daughter. I've got you all. I am going to have my daughter back. And what I want people to do is take this video from YouTube and publish it wherever you want, in every single country on this planet. I want this in every media, every TV station, because the UK has put an IP gag on the electronic borders of the UK in my name. I can't publish anything in the UK. They don't like me because I hold this judgment. And I will not stop. I will see you all punished for stealing children. Bailie is just one child that you've stolen. Tens of thousands of families in the UK are contacting me on a daily basis. They've stolen my children. I've done nothing wrong. The UK steals children for profit. A child is worth €500,000 in the lifetime of that child. You start doing the multiplier by 10,000, you're already at 50 million just for the children. That's the resale value of the children. At the rate the UK was going, stealing children, by the year 2020, the UK will be held to wholesale children as a commodity, like gas, oil and steel, around the world. You can now log on to Sunderland Social Services web pages and look at a catalogue and pick your designer child and steal them. That's how bad it's got. This judgment was written for a reason. It's to break it open. It's a public judgment. I can quote every single name, chapter and verse. There is no privacy law against me. You cannot take a public judgment and make it private, only at your implicit borders in the UK. You know where I am, you know my address, it's in the judgment. I invite any member of the press to come and personally collect this document, and I will sign any document in this form that will go and recover my daughter, because the moment my daughter comes back, she's going to tell me, Daddy, they said this to me, they said that. And I will have that published as proof that you steal children for profit. My ex-wife Nigel Cooper of 41 Ennerdale, Washington, Tyne Wear, Sunderland, UK, is an alcoholic sworn by the Sunderland Social Services, signed by a UK doctor and a UK judge. She has a drug problem and a mental stability problem, signed by Estelle Lowe, a fake psychiatrist. She comes from South Africa. It's impossible, Miss Estelle Lowe. Your CV that you published is wrong. My wife now is South African. There is no way of the dates that you put on that would you as a white woman be working in a black environment during apartheid. You're a liar, Estelle Lowe. Your company is fake. You made 43,000% profit on your company. 43,000%. Why did HMRC Customs and Tax not investigate you? Why did Companies House not investigate you? Why did all your web pages suddenly disappear off the internet and all of a sudden come back up? You go up and down only when you want to steal a child, when you're involved. Estelle Lowe, if you search at the present time, is an active web page in Sunderland. 43,000% profit as a company, stealing children. Your CVs are fake. Your master's degree is a fake. Your bachelor's degree is a fake. From the date that you said you were born, through a standard education and the time it takes to get a degree, you're a liar, you're a fake, you're a fraud. If that's one solicitor doing it, there's others doing it. There's psychiatrists doing it. There's doctors doing it. Try Mega Labs. Those who do all the blood tests, the hair strand tests, you're fake. You're in cahoots. Try Mega Labs just so happens to have issued to Willis Croft & Co., the company owned by Stephanie Adam, an award for the best solicitor. In Stephanie Adams' email, which is on request, which I will give, I only use Try Mega Labs. It's called coercion. They fake the reports. God knows how many innocent mothers and fathers in the UK have been accused of alcohol and drug abuse when they've never even touched them. You're a damn disgrace, the UK. You steal children for profit. Why are you lining your pockets at the fate of minors? Why do you tell them lies? That is the emotional harm that you try and blame on parents. You're cruel. You're thieves. You're just a common robber. You're not the social services who protect children. You're a goddamn thief. That's what you are. You abuse children. You sell children to the highest bidder. You want to see who can have a child? Go to the Sunderland website. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, gay, straight, single, married. Doesn't matter who you are. If you've got enough money, you can have a child. What you then do with that child, they don't care. Are the UK condoning paedophilia? Are they allowing children to go into strange homes where strange things happen to kids? You're an absolute disgrace to humanity. What you are undertaking in the name of the child is the greatest abuse of power in the history of mankind. I've tracked your actions. For the last 24 months, I have 15,358 emails and documents that have fingerprinted you lot into stealing children. The Judgement caught you red-handed. Now what are you going to do? You can read the Judgement. You can admit your guilt. You can return my daughter in accordance with the law. Or I will not stop, and I will take you to a world court if necessary, and I will have my daughter returned in accordance with the law, and you will be shown for what you are, A common garden thief. No more than that. That's what you do. You steal children. You're evil. In the worst possible case, for profit. I hate to condone any person, but I condemn Miss Stephanie Adams. I condemn Joanna Bannar and Amy Robson, who told my daughter, "Are you more Belgian than English? Why didn't you say, are you more black than white? Are you more Catholic than Jewish? Are you more gay than straight?" That is a racist incitement to a minor. I tar you with the same brushes as the crimes against humanity of Hitler, where they brainwashed the children of Hitler. You are evil, the UK, through to the core. You are disgraceful in the name of the child. You are disgusting in the name of the child. And you are damn evil. And in the name of King Albert, you will return my daughter. This judgment is fully enforceable at every point of law in any country in the world. The UK refused. Moyland refused. Who the hell do you think you are? You're not a judge. You're a thief. Hudson, you dare put me into exile. How dare you, woman? I condemn you as well. Don't you judge me. I've got nothing to repent. Whatever you think you can say about me, those people who knew me then and knew me now would know I would never do such things to a child that you claim that I have done. You are disgraceful and you are disgusting. And I will see you all before a judge before the day is out. I will not stop. I will have you all, every single one of you. To date, I've got 96 names of people involved in stealing children. Those 96 names are split across 11 different companies and corporations. I was even given a list of the 20 or so dedicated international child thieves issued by the Central Authority of Belgium under the name of Veselina Arapacheva, the attaché to the central courts of the Belgium justice system. I will make that available and I will publish every single solicitor on that list. Woe betide anybody who comes between me and my daughter. I am a good father. I'm an honest father. I'm a hard-working father. I don't drink and I don't do drugs. And I'm not slightest insane. The judgment is our silver bullet to each and every one of you. Take it, print it, give it to your newspapers, give it to the TVs, to your radio stations, and ask the one question: why will the UK not obey the law? Thank you for listening. As I said in the video, this is signed in publicly in the view of Jacob and my wife. So I now sign this. I, Nigel Cooper, grant to every person the right to hold this document in the name of the law. You are instructed in accordance with the law. Signed, Nigel Cooper. On every page, And before I sign the last page, it says here, authorised as needed, Nigel Cooper to take back or arrange the removal of his daughter, Bailie Cooper, as soon as this decision is rendered. Empower the police forces to retrieve the child wherever she may be located, whether a bailiff is present or not, as per his mission of executing this present judgment. Expressly authorise the police forces, as well as a bailiff, to force any entrance, even private, even if it's somewhere else other than the school she attends or the domicile of Gail Cooper. This is for the sole purpose of retrieving Bailie, if necessary with assistance of a locksmith, in order to open and even break down doors, may these be private entrances or not, and declare that the entire fees will be covered by the Sunderland Social Services, as they have declared in an open statement which I hold that they will cover all the costs of Gail Cooper. And this is an enforcement order to serve and order hereby all judicial officers, Justice Moyland, to enforce this in judgment to this end. You broke the law. To all public prosecutors, Stephanie Adams, Joanna Bernard, Anne-Marie Hutchinson, you're in contempt of a judgment. Royal prosecutors, Justice Hedley, Justice Moyland, Justice Hudson, Lord Matthew Alexander Thorpe, you're in contempt of an international judgment. To all county courts, Newcastle County Court, you're in contempt of court order. To all commanders and officers of public forces, the Prime Minister, you were served. You are a man in public office. You failed to carry out. Signed and legally signed by the Registrar and signed by me. Dated the 10th of March 2013. Thank you.